Hey, and welcome to this episode of Match Betting Uncovered, brought to you by ProfitDuel. Today we're diving into a rapidly growing side hustle that seems to be taking the U.S. by storm: matched betting. You might have heard whispers, maybe seen something online, or perhaps you're just wondering what it even is and, if it's actually a legit way to boost your income without just getting lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission today is really to demystify matched betting completely. We want to break down exactly how it works and show you why thousands of Americans are signing up for platforms every single month to significantly increase their income. And crucially, how it doesn't rely on luck. We'll be pulling out the most important nuggets of knowledge basically from our own research and articles to give you a clear roadmap.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. What is matched betting at its core? Because I think for a lot of people, that word betting, it just immediately brings up images of, risky gambling.
That's a really great place to start. Matched betting is fundamentally a risk-reduced betting strategy. It's quite different. Instead of trying to predict who wins and just hoping you're right, you're actually placing bets on all possible outcomes of a sports event. And the whole point of doing this is to unlock and then convert the promotions that sportsbooks offer, things like sign-up bonuses or bonus bets, into guaranteed profit. It's really about leveraging their marketing budget against them, not about having deep sports knowledge or like intuition.
Right. So it's not about being a sports whiz or having some kind of insider info. You're basically neutralizing the risk by covering all the bases. What kind of bets are we actually talking about here? And where does the profit really come from then?
Exactly. You nailed it. You typically place two main bets. There's a back bet, where you bet for a specific outcome, let's say Team A, to win on one sports book. And then right after, you place a hedge, or sometimes called a lay bet. That's where you bet against that exact same outcome. So Team A won't win, but you do this on a different platform, like a betting exchange or another sports book. By covering all possibilities like that, you pretty much eliminate the risk of losing your initial stake. The profit itself, that comes directly from the bonus bets the sportsbooks give you as incentives. You're essentially converting those bonuses into withdrawable cash rather than risking your own money over and over. And honestly, you really don't need any prior sports betting experience at all to get started with this.
Huh. That's fascinating. It almost sounds more like a financial technique maybe than traditional gambling. How did this even start, and is it really catching on here in the U.S. now?
Yeah, it's got an interesting history. This whole strategy actually started in the UK way back in 1999. And it really, really boomed over there through the 2000s and 2010s. We're talking like over 500,000 users in Europe doing this.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, it's very much alive and growing super fast right here in the U.S. Ever since 2019, you've had, over 25 states open the doors to online sports betting. That's created this massive new landscape, just full of opportunities for matched bettors. People also call it bonus bet conversion, which I think is actually a pretty good description. It kind of clarifies what you're actually doing.
Okay, right. So the concept makes sense. But here's where it gets really interesting for listeners, I think. How do you actually do it? Can you walk us through the steps?
Absolutely. It might sound a bit complicated at first, but honestly, it boils down to a surprisingly simple 5-step process. Okay, step 1, sign up. This just means registering with an online sportsbook. The big names like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. These platforms are basically digital casinos for sports, right?
Yeah.
And they're where you'll find all those valuable promotions and initial bonuses you need.
Gotcha. Sign up. Step 1.
Step 2, place a back bet. Now, you use a little bit of your own money, let's say, maybe $25, to bet on a specific outcome, like betting on the Kansas City Chiefs to win their next game. This is your qualifying bet. Its only job is to unlock that bonus the sportsbook promised. The key thing here is you're not actually trying to win this bet. You're just placing it to get the bonus.
Okay, so you place the bet, not necessarily caring if it wins or loses.
Exactly. Then, step 3, place a hedge bet. Almost immediately after placing that back bet, you hop onto a different sportsbook or exchange. And there, you place a bet against the Chiefs winning. So you're betting they will not win. This matches your first bet, right? It covers all the results. So Chiefs win, Chiefs lose, Chiefs draw, doesn't matter. Your two bets pretty much cancel each other out. You might end up with a very small predefined loss, maybe $1, maybe $2, just because of slight differences in the odds. But the magic is that tiny loss just unlocked a much bigger bonus bet from the first sportsbook.
Okay. So just to be crystal clear then, you're essentially paying like a tiny fee, maybe $1 or $2, to get access to a much larger bonus. Could you maybe give us a quick, simple number example? How does that bonus actually turn into profit?
Yeah, great question. That's really the core of it. So let's stick with that example. Your initial $25 qualifying bet, Let's say it resulted in a tiny $1 loss because the odds weren't perfectly identical on both sites.
Okay.
But placing that $25 bet triggered the sportsbook to give you, say, a $100 bonus bet. So you spent $1 to get $100 in bonus funds. Now you move to step 4.
Okay, makes sense. Spend $1, got 100 bonus bucks. What next?
Step 4 is basically repeat the process. Once that first game is over and the $100 bonus get lands in your account, you just repeat steps 2 and 3 again. But this time, for one side of the matched bet, you use the $100 bonus bet instead of your own cash. So maybe you use the $100 bonus to bet on Team X to win on one site. Then you use your own cash to place the hedge bet against Team X on another site. Because you use the sportsbook's money that bonus bet for one half of it, you end up converting roughly, let's say, 75% to 80% of that bonus amount into real withdrawable cash, no matter if Team X wins or loses. So that $100 bonus bet, it typically nets you around $75 to $80 in actual profit.
Wow, okay, so you turn their free money into real money.
Exactly. And that leads to the final step, step 5, withdraw your profit. Once those required bets are settled, you'll have locked in a definite profit. You can then just withdraw that money straight to your bank account. So in our example, you made maybe $75 from that $100 bonus. You subtract the $1 you lost on the qualifying bet, and boom, you're left with $74 profit. You're covering all the bases, using their own promotions against them, but in a really calculated, smart way.
That really does clarify it. It's all about guaranteeing outcomes from those bonuses, not trying to predict winners. It makes a lot more sense now why so many people are looking into this. But still, when people hear betting, they automatically think traditional sports gambling. How different are they really?
Yeah, it's so important to draw that line clearly. We've actually identified 5 major differences that really set matched betting completely apart from traditional sports betting. First off, the big one, reliance on luck. Traditional sports betting. It's absolutely about luck, predicting outcomes, hoping your team pulls through. You're gambling. Matched betting, though, it relies entirely on calculations and strategy. You're using math, basically, often helped by software, to guarantee a profit no matter how the game ends. Luck isn't part of the equation.
Okay, no luck involved. Got it. What else?
Second, the role of bonus bets. In traditional betting, yeah, you might get a bonus occasionally. Maybe it's a small part of your strategy. But for matched bettors, these bonus bets are the absolute core. They're the primary source of income. You're actively hunting for new bonuses, often completing multiple offers every single week.
Right, the bonuses are the whole point, not just a side thing.
Exactly. Third difference is skill level. To be a consistently winning traditional sports bettor, that takes serious skill. Deep sports knowledge, statistical analysis, maybe years of watching trends. It's tough. Matched betting requires basically no prior betting skills. You just need to be able to follow clear step-by-step instructions, often provided by guides or platforms.
So, less about being a sports guru, more about just following a proven system carefully.
Precisely. Which leads to the fourth difference, community and support. Traditional betting can often feel like a pretty solitary thing, right? You against a bookie. Matched betting actually thrives on community. There are really strong online communities like Discord servers, Facebook groups where people are constantly sharing tips, new offers they found, strategies, and generally supporting each other. It's way more collaborative.
Interesting. Community aspect.
Yeah. And finally, number 5, long-term profits. Let's be honest, making consistent long-term profit from traditional sports betting is incredibly difficult. It's notoriously unpredictable. With match betting, though, if you stick to the guidelines, follow the process, you can realistically expect a very consistent, predictable income month after month. We actually have a great quote from our expert Chris Allen on this. He says, matched betting flips the script on traditional gambling. Instead of hoping for a win, you're working with calculated certainty. By using odds, promos, and tools effectively, you're building repeatable, low-risk profits rather than relying on luck. I think that just perfectly sums up that fundamental difference.
Yeah, that quote really nails it. Calculated certainty versus hope. Okay, so this naturally brings us to the really big questions people will have. How much can you actually make doing this? And is this whole thing truly legal?
Right, the bottom line questions. The earning potential, well, it does depend on a couple of things. Mainly, how much time you're willing to put in and what kind of initial bankroll you start with. But on average, someone doing match betting in the U.S. can pretty consistently add a nice chunk to their income every single month. We've even seen people get creative, leveraging things like affiliate programs related to match betting platforms to build up passive income streams alongside their direct earnings.
Okay, so there's real potential there.
Definitely. And just to give you a sense of the market size we're talking about, according to CDS Sports, the total amount legally wagered on sports in the U.S. just in 2024 soared to an incredible $149.6 billion. That's like a 23.5% jump from the year before. This huge expanding market just creates massive opportunities for matched bettors to basically skim a tiny, tiny fraction of that promotional spending off the top for themselves.
Wow, that's a huge number. And okay, crucially, the legality question. Is this operating in some kind of gray area or?
No, not at all. It's completely legal in the U.S. The only catch, the main caveat, is that you have to live in a state where online sports betting itself is legal. Right now, that's, I think, over 26 states, and that list is growing pretty rapidly as more states come online.
Okay, so if sports betting is legal in your state, matched betting is legal.
Exactly. And here's a fun little tidbit. Even if online sports betting isn't legal in your state yet, we're actually seeing more and more Americans going on what they call matched betting road trips. They literally travel across state lines, sometimes just for a weekend, specifically to sign up for sports books and cash in on the available promos in a legal state. Kind of a unique way to earn some money while maybe doing a bit of travel.
Huh, that's pretty interesting. A matched betting road trip. Okay, so for someone just hearing all this, maybe feeling intrigued but a bit overwhelmed, what are the most common initial questions or like mental hurdles they might have? Do you need to be amazing at math? Do you absolutely need a separate bank account?
Yeah, those are definitely the common worries we hear. Let's tackle them head on. First, and we've kind of said this, but it's worth repeating, no betting experience needed. Seriously, none. Yeah. Anybody can get started. Our articles, the beginner guides out there, walkthrough videos, they make it incredibly accessible even if you've never placed a bet in your life.
Okay, good to know. No experience necessary. What about math?
Right. Second, no advanced math skills needed either. Sure, understanding basic addition and subtraction helps, right? But you absolutely do not need to be a math whiz. This is where those specialized tools and software really shine. They do all the heavy lifting, all the complex calculations for you. They literally tell you exactly how much money to bet on each side. You just follow the simple instructions they spit out.
So the tools handle the complicated math bits.
Precisely. And third, that question about a separate bank account. Is it strictly necessary? No, technically you can use your main bank account. However, we strongly recommend setting one up just for matched betting. It just makes everything so much cleaner, tracking your profits, seeing your progress, keeping your betting money separate from your everyday finances. It just makes life easier.
Okay, recommended but not essential. That makes sense. And actually, you mentioning the tools leads us right into their crucial role. It sounds like these specialized tools are key to making matched betting not just possible, but like actually efficient, especially for beginners.
Oh, absolutely key. There's a whole ecosystem of tools out there designed specifically to simplify this whole process. You've got things like free bet conversion calculators, you plug in the bonus amount, the odds, and they tell you exactly how much to stake on your back and hedge bets to guarantee a profit. Super simple. Then you have more sophisticated software like something called a Dutch matcher or an odds matcher. These tools are constantly scanning thousands of odds across dozens of sportsbooks, 247, 365 days a year. They automatically identify the most profitable match betting opportunities for you in real time, comparing odds between bookies to find the best matches for qualifying bets and bonus conversions. They save hours of manual searching. Honestly, these tools are total game changers. They make it simpler than ever for a complete novice to jump in and start succeeding pretty consistently, pretty quickly.
Right, so the tech does a lot of the legwork. Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, debunked some myths, talked about tools. Let's look bigger picture now. What are the overall benefits people can realistically expect? And importantly, are there any potential pitfalls or risks they really need to be aware of as they start this journey?
Yeah, looking at the benefits, there are 5 that really stand out as powerful incentives for people. First, as we've stressed, mitigated risk. When you follow the process correctly, it really is designed to be a win-win strategy. By placing those opposing bets, you ensure that regardless of who wins the game, you're going to profit from that bonus you unlocked.
Okay, low risk.
Second, low startup costs. You can genuinely get started with this with as little as, say, $50, maybe $100 to be comfortable. That makes it one of the most accessible and, frankly, cost-effective side hustles out there right now.
$50, that's pretty accessible.
It really is. Third, it's highly flexible. Match betting totally sits around your schedule, your lifestyle, got an hour spare in the evening, traveling. You can make money from anywhere you've got an internet connection, completely on your own terms. Definitely not a rigid 9-to-5 thing unless you want to treat it that way.
Flexibility is huge.
Huge. Fourth, and we keep coming back to this, but it's so important, no betting experience needed. This is just a massive plus. anyone, literally anyone, can dive in without needing any prior knowledge of sports, odds, or traditional betting strategies.
Okay. And the fifth?
And fifth, consistent profits. By methodically working through those sportsbook promotions, using the tools to find favorable odds matches, matched bettors can achieve a really steady, predictable income stream. It genuinely offers a reliable source of consistent profit over time. And actually, many sportsbooks even have VIP programs. So as you do more volume, you can sometimes unlock even bigger bonuses, better offers, maybe even physical prizes sometimes.
Okay, that's a really compelling list of benefits. And it's great to keep hearing that it's low risk when the guidelines are followed. But what about those potential pitfalls? What should a beginner really be careful about? Where can things go wrong if you're not careful?
That's a fair question. Even though matched betting, done right, doesn't carry risk of losing your capital or legal trouble, there are three key things, sort of considerations, for beginners to keep firmly in mind, and more importantly, how to avoid them.
Okay, what are they?
The first one is simply human error. Let's be real, we all make mistakes sometimes, right? Accidentally placing a bet on the wrong team, typing in the wrong stake amount, maybe forgetting to place the hedge bet entirely. That kind of mistake could lead to an actual loss. The way to avoid it: simple diligence. Always, always double-check your bets before confirming them. Make sure the team, the market, the stake are all correct. And crucially, use a reputable matched betting platform that provides really clear step-by-step walkthrough guides and has good customer support you can reach out to if you're unsure.
Okay, double check everything. Makes sense. What's number two?
The second consideration is something called account restrictions, or sometimes gubbing. Now, match betting is legal, but sportsbooks, understandably, aren't huge fans of customers who only ever take value from their promotions and never place normal bets. So if your betting patterns look too obviously like a matched bettor and not like a regular recreational punter, they might eventually limit your account, perhaps restricting you from receiving future promotions. But there are simple ways to avoid this, or at least delay it significantly. Things like occasionally rounding your bet stakes to whole numbers instead of precise cents, betting on major leagues and popular markets rather than obscure ones, maybe placing the occasional small mug bet that isn't matched. These little things help your account blend in.
Okay. So try not to stick out like a sore thumb, basically.
Pretty much. And the third consideration is time commitment. It's important to be realistic. This is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a legitimate side hustle, yes, but it requires consistent time and effort to actually hit those income goals you might have. So manage your expectations. You probably won't make thousands in your first week. You'll need to dedicate, maybe a few hours each week, consistently finding offers, placing the bets, tracking everything to start building up that serious, steady income.
Right. It takes effort, like any real way to make money.
Exactly. It's work, but it's profitable work if you do it right.
Okay, that's a very clear picture of what to watch out for. So, wrapping things up a bit, to really maximize earnings and make this whole journey as smooth as possible, what are some final, top strategies or tips you'd give someone starting out?
Absolutely. If I had to boil it down, here are 5 top tips that can really make a difference in your success and how much you enjoy it. First, really get to know the process. Don't just jump in blind. Read those beginner blogs, watch the tutorial videos, use the custom guides that good platforms offer. The more you fundamentally understand why you're placing each bet, the more confident and, frankly, efficient you'll become.
Okay, educate yourself first. Good advice.
Second, we mentioned it before, but it's worth saying again, use a dedicated bankroll. Set up that separate bank account or use a digital wallet just for matched betting. Keep those funds completely separate from your everyday money. It gives you much better control, makes profit tracking way easier, and avoids any accidental mix-ups.
Dedicated funds. Check.
Third, make use of the helpful tools. Seriously, we can't stress this enough. Leverage those specialized calculators, the odds matchers, the Dutch matchers. They will find you the best odds instantly. They streamline the whole betting process. They literally save you hours of tedious manual searching, and they directly help you maximize your returns from every offer. Don't try to do it all manually.
Use the tech. Got it.
Fourth, track your profits meticulously. Keep accurate records of every bet you place, every offer you complete, and how much profit you make from each one. This keeps you organized, yes, but it also lets you clearly see your progress over time, which is super motivating. Plus, it helps you identify which types of offers are most profitable for you. A simple spreadsheet works, but dedicated profit trackers built into matched betting platforms are even better and less prone to error.
Track everything. Makes sense for any side hustle.
Exactly. And the fifth tip, which is arguably the #1 tip, especially for beginners, is to sign up for a trusted platform. This is absolutely crucial. A good platform provides the guides, the tools, the support, the curated list of offers, everything you need for a safe, enjoyable, and, most importantly, profitable experience. Look for a platform with a proven long-term track record, a user interface that feels easy to navigate, genuinely helpful customer support, and clear, transparent pricing or fees. Don't just go with the first one you find.
That really resonates. Having that structure, the guides, the support network, especially when you're just starting out and things feel confusing, seems absolutely vital. And, we actually know of one platform that consistently comes up, one that seems to stand head and shoulders above the rest, particularly for beginners in the U.S. market.
That's right. We're talking about ProfitDuel. They really do have impressive credentials. They bring over 10 years of direct experience in this industry, having started as the highly successful Odds Monkey platform over in the UK way back in 2010. Since launching as ProfitDuel in the US, they've already helped, I think, close to 500,000 customers worldwide generate significant extra income through matched betting. They've even been featured in major national publications like Vice, which really speaks to their legitimacy and the impact they're having.
And what really makes them a standout, I think, is that comprehensive support system they offer. They have this huge library of super clear beginner guides, really practical walkthrough videos showing you exactly what buttons to click. Plus, they list hundreds of current sportsbook offers, all checked and ready for you to work through. And maybe the best part, they have friendly, actual match betting experts available for one-on-one sessions if you get stuck or just want personalized advice. That level of dedicated support is pretty rare and invaluable for new starters.
Totally agree. And here's something really practical for anyone listening who's curious. ProfitDuel is currently offering new members a 3-day trial. During this trial, they literally guide you step by step through completing your very first matched betting offer, designed to make you a clear profit. It's a fantastic, zero-risk way to experience the process firsthand, see how the tools work, and actually make some money without any upfront commitment.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize those simple steps again, specifically for starting with a trusted platform like ProfitDuel during that trial. First, you just sign up for your trial account. Simple setup. Second, read their walkthrough guides. ProfitDuel's beginner guides are designed to be quick, apparently less than 15 minutes to get through the core concepts, giving you that essential foundation. Third, you follow the instructions using their Dutch Matcher tool. This is the software that finds the bets for you, saves you hours, scans all the sports books, and sets up those profitable opportunities we talked about. And finally, step 4, withdraw your profits. Once the qualifying bet and the bonus bet cycle are complete and the events have finished, you just cash out your earnings. And the best part, because of the trial, it potentially didn't cost you a dime to make that first bit of profit.
It's really fascinating here, stepping back for a second, is how in this age where we're just bombarded with information, you can actually use structured knowledge, like matched betting principles, combined with precise tools. And you can use them not just to understand a complex system like sports betting promotions, but to systematically and reliably turn it into a genuine income stream. Kind of makes you wonder, what other complex areas of life, maybe finance or even other industries, could potentially be flipped or optimized like this with a similar deep dive and the right systematic approach. Food for thought.
That's a great thought to end on. Okay, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.